We go back, what, 14 years ago. And as a country, everybody was in shock because Inspector Morse died.
Morse died. Yeah. It was a shock.
12 years, 12 series. But a couple of years ago, Morse came back on the telly. It was a prequel. It was called Endeavour, and the man who became Endeavour is Shaun Evans, who's with us now. And in the last series, we saw the young Morse exploring darker sides of his character, working out what made Inspector Morse. And here is a look at how the last series ended, and it did not end well.
Good afternoon, this is Detective Constable Morse. Well, there are coppers and there are coppers.
What sort are you?
I'm the sort that's a young lady safely home. Condescend to me, master, and I'll frog march you across that quad, down the high end into Cowley Police Station, in handcuffs, do you understand? Since when do we do that?
You look like you could do with it.
I've many faults, God knows, but I try to draw the line at masochism.
But back to where we started.
Yes, exactly where we started.
We were just talking to Shaun because we said we feel like we've been on this journey with you because it was. Eamon said last year, but I said it was 2 years ago actually that you sat here talking about the pilot that you were doing for this.
And you said
and everyone was a bit nervous.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You were quite nervous at how people would accept it, and you know people were so used to Morse and John Thor and his memory and.
Yeah, I mean it's like an unknown entity, isn't it? But I do feel incredibly grateful that we had the opportunity to make a first series and then to make another 4. So I hope that these go down well because, I mean, I'm really proud of them.
But you see, that pilot, which Ruth was saying, got huge audience figures, and that's really what sealed the deal, I suppose. But you had to, in that and in the first series, I suppose you had to lay down certain seeds to be able to break free from the Morse that we all know and love, and to start building the character and let us know how he became who he became.
Yeah, well, I think that's true, but I think that, you know, aside and apart from all of the history, you have to tell a story as well. And I think that's what we're trying to do as well. But yeah, of course, you have the ingredients and the seeds which will then become the series that everyone knew and loved, which is a good thing, I think. It's not a bad thing. It's not like we have to sow these seeds. It's interesting as well. Who is this person when they're young? That's an interesting thing, I think.
And actually, things that happen that you go, oh, that's why he became like he became. And as Eamon said, at the end of the last series, he was not in a good place, was he?
He was shocked.
So, yeah. And his dad had died. And so, joining this new series, which starts on Sunday night, how do we find him? What kind of state is he in?
Well, if you can imagine, it's been 4 months since the last scene of that, and he's been off work and been seconded to a different station. So the first day back is his first day back in the office. And it's about kind of coming to terms with all those things. His dad dying, being shot, not being really on top of his game. And then throughout the course of the first story, he kind of gets his groove back, I think.
What is his groove? What is his game? What does he realise that he is actually good at instead of languishing in a depression? What does he realise about himself?
Well, I think that he's got a place there and he's good at it, whether he likes it or not, whether he likes being a policeman or not. He's good at his job and so needs to be there. But I also think that what we've tried to do with this second series, at least, is to deepen the relationships between all of the characters, so the Thursday character and the boys in the station as well, that there's a sort of dependency that they need. So whilst he needs to be there in order to be the man that he becomes, they need him there as well in order to...
Thursday's a mentor in many ways too. But also, one of the things we associate with Morse, young or old, is love, romance, and sometimes the lack of it, and he's not lucky with it. He might get a bit lucky here on Sunday night. and
Nurse Monica appears.
Here's Nurse Monica.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Monica.
With a moped from across the way?
Morse.
Sorry to knock, but you haven't got a tanner, have you? I have something on the stove to warm and the gas is gone.
Come in.
I'll let you have it back.
Call it quits if you've a tin opener I can borrow.
Just moved in, haven't you?
Weekend before last.
I'll fetch the opener.
You wouldn't have an iron, would you? Mine's given up the ghost.
Stretching that sixpence, aren't you?
She's She's a terrific actress, I think, Siobhan. And funny enough, she was telling me at the time when her mum got married, they played the Morse tune. Her mum was such a fan of the show, like the original show. Isn't that funny?
It was meant to be. And where is it meant to be, time-wise? If people are looking at that, you're either very Maud-like or trendy, or it's set in a different time. Just remind people.
1966. This year's 1966, and obviously the one previous was born prior to that, 65.
It was World Cup year.
Well, you don't get much past me.
And do you enjoy that, the clothes of that era, the stuff? Because it's very stylish when you watch it. It's very stylishly shot.
Yeah, I do. I think that it means that the guest actors that we have on board can have a lot of fun with the costumes and with the cars and with everything. But I also think it's, in terms of a story, it's something, because it's so distant and it's set at that time, there's something about, I think at least, that the audience can switch off and just enjoy it, versus it being too realistic, if you know what I mean. There's no text, there's no email, there's none of that. It's like, it's simple, and it's kind of, it's like a story being told. So that's part of what I really love about it.
And a whole story is told, isn't it, in each?
Yes, in each one. Yeah.
It's the antithesis of CSI, something like that, you know, really modern, sort of high-tech series, something like that. Why is he so maudlin, really? Some people would say grumpy. What is the sadness? Have you got to the bottom of that as to what the melancholy is?
I think it's I think it's a combination of things. But I think largely because this person doesn't feel like they're in the right setting, feels ill at ease.
Well,
and is more confident in his mind than he is with people.
Well, it's all part of the journey you bring us on, Shaun. We've thoroughly enjoyed being on it with you. Know, it's brilliant. And the new series 2. It's this Sunday. It's 8 o'clock on ITV, and that, of course, is Mother's Day.
Mother's Day as well. Yeah.
And it better have gone well. If Mother's Day doesn't go well with Ruth's mum around the house and things, then I won't be allowed to watch it, basically. So we hope that goes well. Lovely seeing you, Shaun.
Thanks
very much.